Hello everyone, this is Professor Robert Solis and welcome to this next video lesson. What I'm going to have you create this time is a very simple advertisement for a summit that we're going to be giving. Say for example, we're going to be talking about Microsoft Word, and the company that's presenting this is the Solis Academy, and here's the agenda. So as you can see here, we have some breakfast being served at 8 o'clock, we have an introduction at 9, so forth and so on. And then we have a map over here that shows where the meeting is going to be, and then we also have some information in terms of the address and when and where, so forth and so on. Also notice that we have some symbolic bullets with the various items in terms of describing the agenda. And then we have this, a series of dots. How do we do that? It's called a tab leader. We're going to get into that. Notice that the whole thing has a page border around the entire page, and we also have a footer down here. So we have a bunch of stuff to talk about. How do we create something like this? Okay, well the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to click File, and then I'm going to click New, and I'll just create a new blank document, and I'll click Create. Okay, so I want to hit Alt-Tab to go back and forth between this thing right here, what I've created, and our blank document where we're starting off fresh. Okay, well the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to type some text. It says the Solis Academy presents the Solis Academy presents MS Word Summit. Okay, so the Solis Academy presents, and then I'm going to hit Shift Enter so that I get a hard return, and then MS Word Summit, and then I'll just simply press Enter right here. Okay, well the first thing to note is that the text is centered, and it also has a certain style to it. It just seems a little bit different than the regular text over here. Well, if that's the case, that's because I want to introduce the word art option. Alright, so what you're going to do is you're going to click Insert. So click the Insert tab, and then you'll see the word art option. Let me first double click and then select this text. And then I'll click Word Art. And then as you can see here, I have all kinds of different word art options. Let me try this one down here. I like the way this kind of has a shiny appearance on the top and it gives a drop shadow at the bottom here, so I'll select that. That looks really nice. Okay, so the problem is that, as you can see here back in our original, we have kind of like this bluish fill color with a reddish-like outline. Well, and also, by the way, this font is a little bit bigger in terms of the font size, I should say. See, this is 40 points. This guy over here, MS Word Summit, that's 36 points. So we have to change that as well. Well, that's easy. I can simply double click on the word the, go all the way to presents, and then what I'm going to do is on this mini toolbar that shows up, I'm going to select 40. Hey, wait a minute, 40 doesn't exist. All right, no problem. I'll just go over here, hit delete, and then backspace, and then type 40, press enter. That's better. Okay, so this is 40, and that should be 36. Good. But some word wrapping occurred here. Notice that the word presents went to the next line. Well, okay, so I've got to open this up a little bit and open this up a little bit over here. In fact, what is the exact measurement for this thing? Well, let's see here. I mean, what are we talking about here? 1.71 and 6.75. Okay, I can type those in. 1.71, and over here 6.75. Enter. Okay, there we go. Now, you don't have to type these things in terms of the size. You can just simply eyeball it, right? So we're just going to try to make sure that this thing looks right, and you're moving it to the left, you're moving it to the right, so forth and so on. You're making your adjustments to make sure it looks right, and you can also use the arrows on the keyboard as well, which is what I'm doing right now. I'm pressing the left and the right arrows to kind of move them into position to make sure this thing is centered. Okay, that does not look like that. So let's make some changes. First, let me double click, hold down the mouse, select the entire text. Let's make some changes. Right now, since I've double clicked this word art, we are in the Drawing Tools Format tab. And I want to fool around with this button and this button. This guy over here indicates what the text fill color is. So I'm going to click this drop down, and that's going to show me a whole bunch of palettes of colors. And let me pick a darker blue color like this guy right here. Okay, so there we go. This button over here indicates that we're going to change the text outline. So I'm going to click this drop down, and let me select this red accent 2. All right, and then I'm going to unselect. There we go. So this is a match of this. This is how I change the colors based on the word art that I selected. Okay, but you'll notice that this thing is a little bit too low and this thing's a little bit higher. Well, what's going on over here? One of the things that you'll need to do is you'll need to first of all make sure that the ruler is displayed. So click the View tab and make sure that there's a check mark where it says Ruler so that you can see this guy. Well, what happens is you'll notice that the size of from the top of the ruler here for this blank area on the top of the document is a lot smaller than in my current existing document. This blank area over here on the top is a lot larger. This is the header area, and down here we call this the footer area, or the top or the bottom area. So I need to reduce this header area, this non-printable margin area. Alright, so let me click down here, and then I'm going to double click this ruler option. Here we go. And then over here it says Page Setup Margins. Okay, let me go back over here. What did I have this margin as? Let me click Cancel. Let me go over here. Whoops, I'm looking at the wrong document here. There we go. And let me double click over here. Oh, I can't be inside of the text box. Double click over here. Top is supposed to be 0.63. Okay, so I'll go over here, double click, and then type in 0.63. Press Enter. Okay, that moves a little bit higher. It looks like there's supposed to be something around the entire document. You see from the original that there's supposed to be a page border. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll simply go to Page Layout, and then you'll see the Page Borders option. So we're going to click on Page Border, and the Page Border tab is already selected among the 3 that are available. And over here where it says Art, I want you to click this drop down. Now you're going to have to scroll down, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 times until you locate this guy right here. So go ahead and click it, and that's going to place a page border around the entire page. Click OK, and there you go. That looks pretty cool. Okay, so here's our page border. Let me switch back to our document here to see what it's supposed to look like. So I have the word agenda, and then complimentary breakfast at 8. Okay, so let's do this. I'm going to type in agenda. Wait, the font is too small. What is that supposed to be? It says Calibri 16 point. Okay, so let's double click this guy over here. Actually, let me place my mouse pointer over there. I don't want to select this guy over here, so I'm going to hold down Shift, and I'll just select the word agenda. The top part of this word art is selected as well. I don't like that, so I'm going to place my cursor right in front of the word agenda. I'm going to hit Shift, Enter. Okay, now if I double click, okay, it just selects this guy. See, it was connected to this as if it was as if this was part of the word, and I don't want that, so that's why I had to press Enter to get that word agenda out of the way. All right, let's see here. This is supposed to be 16 points. All right, so I'll double click and make that 16 points. Ah, much better. So I place my cursor right there, and then the next line is supposed to say complimentary breakfast. Okay, so I'll just simply press Enter. Complimentary breakfast. And that is going to be at 8 o'clock, or 8 a.m. So I'll just simply type 8 a.m. Enter. All right, wait a minute, Professor Robert Solis. 8 a.m. next to the word breakfast? That doesn't look good. Well, this is a good time to talk about tab leaders. So why don't we do this? Let's go ahead and click this guy over here, and what you'll see is this is going to be a list of all your various tab options. And what I want you to do is I want you to click it until this is displaying where it says Right Tab. So once you have the right tab here, first of all, let me place my cursor right there on this line, and I want to place a right tab on the ruler specifically at the 6-inch mark. So I'm going to click right here at the 6-inch mark, and now notice what happens. A tab leader, or a tab stop rather, exists at the 6-inch mark, and specifically a right tab mark for this specific line. Okay, now that your cursor is blinking here on this line, and you have this tab right here at the 6-inch mark, double click this right tab. So click. Now you're going to get this dialog. Okay, so this tabs dialog is asking, what do you want to set this thing up to do? Well, I already have a tab stop at the 6-inch mark. It's a right tab stop, so I'm going to leave it like that. I want a leader. And a leader is just simply from the stuff to the left to the stuff to the right. It's going to put a bunch of little dots so that your eyes don't lose track as they're traveling from left to right to look at the various items. And you'll see it when I'm finished here. It'll make more sense to actually show it rather than explain it. So I'm going to click Set, and then I'm going to click OK. All right, wow, doesn't show like anything happened, right? Well, check this out. If I place my cursor right here in front of the number 8, press Tab, look at what happened. Now it places a tab leader all the way from complimentary breakfast all the way to 8 a.m. Now I'm going to place my cursor over here at the end, hit Enter, and now we inherit that same behavior of a right tab stop. See this thing over here? And when I type tab, after I type the words, you'll see a tab later, and then I can type the time. So what is the next line? Introduction at 9, okay? So, introduction, watch this, tab, nice. And that's going to be at 9 a.m. And notice how it grows from the right. The reason why it grows from the right is because this is a right tab stop. Okay, so I press Enter, and what do we have? We have the first session, colon, basic MS Word skills. Okay, so the first session, colon, basic MS Word skills. Tab, that's going to begin at 10 a.m. Enter. All right, and it looks like I have second session, intermediate MS Word skills. Okay, so second session, intermediate Word skills, and that's at 11 a.m. Enter. All right, looks like I have lunch at 12 p.m. Okay, so lunch, tab, 12. Did I say a.m.? I hope I didn't. 12 p.m. Third session, advanced MS Word skills at 1. Okay, so third session, advanced Word skills, tab, and that's going to be at 1 p.m. And then finally we have our conclusion, and that's at 2 p.m. Okay, so conclusion, tab, 2 p.m. Okay. Hey, what's going on over here? This blue squiggly line indicates that there may be some sort of a grammatical error. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to right-click on top of this, and let's see, complementary. Oh, okay, so that's not right. Complementary. Okay, so let me double-click or single-click that. Oh, okay, that makes the change over here. What if I typed introduction incorrectly here? So introduction, and then I simply go over here. Now that red squiggly underline indicates that there's a problem over here with the spelling. So if I right-click on top of this, okay, here are my options. I meant introduction. And in fact, what I really meant to do is put a capital I here. Let me get rid of that lowercase I. And then all those wavy lines disappear. So that's kind of a quick way of Microsoft to tell you, hey, we've got a problem over here that needs to be addressed. Well, the difference between what I've typed here and this document over here is, first of all, notice that these items have a bullet, specifically a symbolic bullet that's indented inward. Looks like at the half-inch mark. Well, what I need to do is I need to select from complimentary breakfast all the way to 2 p.m. and then we need to go to the Home tab, and you'll see the symbolic bullets over here. Let me just click this one over here because it's going to be the dots, which is this guy right here.